What would you do if the one chance you had to escape was ripped away, and you were left holding someone else's responsibilities? That was the question burning in Mia's heart as she stood in the kitchen, staring at the plane ticket she'd saved for all year, now useless. At 17, Mia had planned her first solo trip to Costa Rica, a reward for endless hours tutoring kids after school and scraping together every penny. The rainforests, the beaches, the promise of freedom, it was all hers, until her stepmom, Vanessa, decided otherwise. Vanessa swept into the house 3 days ago, her designer heels clicking like a countdown to chaos. "Mia, darling," she'd said, her voice syrupy but sharp, "I've booked a wellness retreat in Bali. You'll need to watch Liam while I'm gone." Liam, her 4-year-old son, was a whirlwind of sticky fingers and endless questions. Mia's trip was set for the same week. She'd protested, her voice trembling with disbelief. "But my flight's non-refundable. I've been planning this for months." Vanessa's smile didn't waver. "Family comes first, Mia. You'll understand when you're older." And just like that, Mia's dream was grounded, while Vanessa jetted off to her luxury escape. The first morning without Vanessa felt like a sentence. Mia woke to Liam's wails, his tiny hands tugging at her sleeve. "Where's Mommy?" he asked, his big brown eyes searching hers. Mia's chest tightened. She wasn't his mom, she was barely holding herself together. The house felt too small, the walls closing in with every spilled juice box and scattered toy. She glanced at her phone, where her friends were posting pictures of their summer adventures, hiking trails, city lights, moments of freedom she could only imagine. Her own world was now a cycle of cartoons, diaper changes, and Liam's relentless energy. By day 3, Mia was unraveling. She loved Liam, but resentment simmered beneath her patience. She wasn't just missing her trip, she was missing her chance to prove she could stand on her own. Vanessa's words echoed in her mind, "You'll understand when you're older." Older? Mia was practically raising her stepbrother while Vanessa sipped cocktails by an infinity pool. The unfairness of it burned, a quiet rage that made her hands shake as she scrubbed peanut butter off the couch. Then came the twist she didn't see coming. On the 4th day, a knock at the door startled her. Standing there was Miss Carter, her high school art teacher, holding a canvas bag and a shy smile. "Heard you were stuck here," she said, stepping inside. "Thought you could use a break." Mia blinked, confused. Miss Carter wasn't family, she was the quirky teacher who'd always encouraged Mia's sketches, the one who saw her when no one else did. "Your dad mentioned you were babysitting," Miss Carter continued, setting her bag down. "I figured you might need some company." Mia didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Miss Carter didn't just bring company, she brought art supplies, a pizza, and stories that made Liam giggle for hours. For the first time that week, Mia felt a weight lift. They spread out paints on the kitchen table, and Miss Carter guided Liam's tiny hands to create messy, colorful masterpieces. Mia joined in, her own brushstrokes hesitant at first, then bolder. "You're good at this," Miss Carter said, nodding at Mia's canvas, a vibrant scene of a rainforest she'd never seen in person. "Don't let anyone make you feel small." That night, after Liam was asleep, Miss Carter stayed. Over cups of tea, she listened as Mia poured out her frustration, her dreams, her fear that she'd always be stuck putting others first. "You're not just a babysitter, Mia," Miss Carter said. "You're building something bigger than you realize. Patience, resilience, those are the tools of a leader." Mia wanted to believe her, but the sting of her canceled trip lingered. Still, Miss Carter's presence was a reminder that someone saw her, not just as a stand-in mom, but as a person with her own story. The days that followed weren't easy. Liam caught a cold, and Mia spent nights rocking him to sleep, her own exhaustion blurring into determination. She started to notice the little things, how Liam's laugh could light up a room, how he'd curl into her side during story time, trusting her completely. She wasn't his mom, but she was his safe place. That realization hit her hard, stirring a mix of pride and pain. She was giving him something Vanessa never did: time, attention, love that didn't come with conditions. When Vanessa returned, tanned and glowing, Mia braced herself. "You did great, Mia," Vanessa chirped, tossing her suitcase aside. "Liam looks happy." Mia swallowed the urge to scream. Happy? She'd sacrificed her dream for this. But as Vanessa rambled about her trip, Mia noticed something new in herself: a quiet strength. She'd survived the week, not just as a babysitter, but as someone who could handle whatever life threw at her. The final twist came a week later. Mia's dad, usually quiet and buried in work, called her into the living room. "I heard about your trip," he said, his voice heavy with guilt. "I didn't realize how much it meant to you." He handed her an envelope. Inside was a new plane ticket to Costa Rica, booked for the next month. "Miss Carter told me how you handled everything," he said. "I'm proud of you, Mia. You deserve this." Tears welled in Mia's eyes, not just for the ticket, but for the acknowledgement. For once, someone saw her sacrifice, not just her duty. As Mia packed for her trip, she thought about Liam, about Miss Carter, about the week that had tested her in ways she hadn't expected. She'd lost her original plan, but she'd gained something deeper: a sense of her own resilience, a reminder that family wasn't just about obligation, but about the bonds you choose to nurture. She tucked a small drawing into her bag, one she'd made with Liam, a bright, messy rainforest, a symbol of the dream she'd held on to and the love she'd given. In the end, Mia's story wasn't just about a cancelled trip or a stepmom's selfishness. It was about finding strength in the moments that break you, about discovering that the people who see you really see you can change everything. As her plane took off for Costa Rica, the rainforest stretching below her, Mia felt a quiet triumph. She wasn't just escaping. She was soaring.